Tired of the rat race in America? Are you ready to visit the motherland to relax and rejuvenate? Are you ready to explore all that Africa has to offer? Then check out the brand new Diversified Game Academy course, Prepare for My First Trip to Africa. Are you worried about being able to afford the trip? We got you. We will show you how to travel either on a budget or as a baller. Learn how to stress the value of the USD. Did you know that 100 United States dollars is worth over 1,000 South African rand or 10,000 Kenyan shillings or 54,250 West African CFA? Are you worried about taking your kids? Get the game from Kellen Cash, a bona fide world traveler, having traveled to almost 20 countries, several of those in Africa. Get the game on taking your kids on their first trips. Learn how to find the best tickets, get the visas, and plan your own adventures in Africa. Don't let Eddie Murphy have all the fun. Plan your own coming to Africa trip starring you, produced by you, and featuring you. If you are ready for a life-changing experience, sign up for our course today, Diversified Game Academy. Get prepared and purchase at diversifiedgame.com.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
Make sure you pick up my two books that's in Amazon right now. The first one is Passive-Aggressive Racism and the System of White Supremacy. And I talk about in that particular book how the system of white supremacy really runs on our daily lives here in America. In our latest book, 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind, we go through those steps to try to deprogram you from the system of white supremacy. Make sure you can pick up those books on Amazon.com.
Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
At African Diaspora News Channel, we cover stories that don't receive mainstream attention, and we serve as the voice to the global Black community. We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media, connecting the African diaspora one story at a time.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are here this evening. We are here. Thank you for joining us this evening. We're going to have a good conversation about your favorite vice president of the United States of America, Kamala Devi Harris. Won't go by her husband's name, but she going to go by her maiden name. Men know the problem with that. I don't have to go into that conversation, but, you know, Doug is Doug, right? So that makes sense for him. Hope everybody's doing well. It's the 16th. We were trucking along. I've heard some people have really been coming out to early voting in Georgia. So that's pretty good. And of course the immigrant population are voting for her. I saw this one immigrant doctor. I think it was on X. I saw this Nigerian went to vote for Kamala because, Kamala's supporting the immigrants. And so all the immigrants say they're going to go vote for her. They don't want to vote for Trump because they think Trump will throw them out. So that's that, right? So she looks like she can got that population sewn up, but it's not enough of them to vote for her to keep her and get her into the White House. Because if that was the case, then you know how that would go. She wouldn't be talking to the Black community, right? But Black America will make or break any Democrat politician. That's just bottom line. You would think they would play ball with Black America, but they don't want to do it because that's the white supremacy in them. Like, we ain't got to be sitting up here negotiating with these black folk. Who are they? We are the white supremacists. They are beneath us. What are you talking about? And that's how the Democrat Party feel about black people. completely. Y'all just say it's the Republicans. It's both of them. Let me tell y'all something. The Republicans and the Democrats feel the same way about black people. Both of them do. Like, I've been saying that a long time ago. They are in both agreement that they want to maintain white supremacy, and they will use Stephen, they will use Stephanie all day long on the plantation to help maintain it, no matter what side it is, right? I don't know. That's why it's so funny to me to watch black folks crash out for the plantation. You're just crashing out to be a house ninja. That's all you're crashing out for. You're not crashing out to say, you know, I'm getting with them because they're going to help me have my own. No, because let me tell you something about a lot of these people, these Democrat shills too. They don't want to do nothing on their own. They want Massa to give them a good job. Tell Massa to keep that overseer, a.k.a. the police, off their back. Let them take a vacation. Let them get drunk, high. Maybe they can go to some P. Diddy parties or something and be a deviant. And that's it. They don't want to run nothing. They don't want to be in charge of a society. They don't want to know how to work the power grid. They don't want to know about plumbing. They don't want to know about fixing cars. They don't want to know about nothing. Let Massa do it all. You know what I'm saying? We have them in our community. They don't want to do nothing for. So when you talk about doing something for self, or even saying that, you know what, I ain't trying to fool no Democrats or Republicans. I'm politically independent. So you mess it up for them. And they know that because you put more pressure on them to actually think for themselves and actually do something for themselves, right? Because, yes, there are people who are descendants of house ninjas. You better believe that. There are people who are descendants of cowards in our community. There are people who are descendants of sellouts who snitched out the right brothers and sisters who were trying to do slave revolts. Then people still run around our community. And usually the apple don't fall too far from the tree, usually in your lineage. A lot of times, if you was a coward back then, a lot of times that cowardice stay in your bloodline. If you was courageous back then, usually that courageous stay in your bloodline. A lot of times you'll get too far from it. Some people may break the generational curse of it, but a lot of people don't. So I'm glad y'all here. I'm glad people come in. Well, people coming in pretty fast tonight. We ain't even got started too good. All right, well, welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're going to get to your vice president. So let's go ahead on and, what are we going to do tonight? What are we going to do tonight? All right. So how long is this video? Because I got a little time, right? Yeah, there you go. All right. So let's go ahead on and do Woody, and then we'll get started with your vice president.
I probably did. I would Detective Thorpe, his brain was the size of a squirrel brain. So you can just tell him anything, he gonna go for it.
Your Honor, at this time, the state's gonna ask permission to treat Mr. Copeland as a hostile witness under pursuant to 24-6-611, Your Honor.
Granted.
Thank you.
What they mean?
Don't worry about it. That's just for her to understand how she can ask the questions. You just continue to answer them truthfully.
Isn't it true that in this January 11, 2015 interview that you told Detective Thorpe that at Club Crucial on that Monday before Donovan Thomas was killed that Kel punched you in the back of your head?
I don't recall what I told the detective.
And is it I'm sorry. Sure.
I don't recall what I told him specifically, however you pronounce it.
Okay. And is it also true that after Kel punched you in the back of the head, then other people came and began jumping on you as well?
They time gonna come.
That's not the question I asked you. Is it true that you told Detective Thorpe during this January 11, 2000 interview that after Kel punched you in your head, that other individuals also began to jump on you as well?
I don't recall what I done told the police. Y'all gonna charge me for what I did? I don't did the time for the crimes y'all caught me for.
Okay. Would you mind your language while we're sitting here in court?
I'm trying to. Y'all need to give me a break because my blood pressure is real high. I keep telling y'all, leave me alone.
Okay. And the quicker we get through this, the quicker we can leave you alone. Do you understand?
Okay, I don't recall.
Okay. Going back to January 11th, 2015.
I don't recall.
Can I finish the
They
question?
didn't listen to the question.
And they keep bringing up Thug name. So what I did was, to get him off of me, I said, Thug did this, Thug did that, Thug did, because I knew they would never, I knew he didn't do it. And in my mind, I knew that the police would never go mess with him. So it was easy for me to try to throw the blame off on him to get them off of me. And that's what I was doing from all these years. I don't remember what I don't told them in the past, but my whole motive was Thug did it because I knew he didn't do it, and they couldn't lock him up. And they keep talking about Thug. So guess what I'm gonna tell them? Yeah. What else you want me to tell them? Yeah, he killed this person. Yeah, he did that. That's what I'm gonna do. And that's right now. If I walk out this thing and they say the police, if I walk out this thing and they say the police stop me now, hey man, give me something about Thug. Make something up about him again.
On January 11, 2015, when you went to speak to the police,
I probably did. I would Detective Thorpe, his brain was the size of a squirrel brain. So you could just tell him anything, he gonna go for it.
you're right, at this time, the state's going to ask permission to treat Mr. Copeland as a hostile witness under pursuant to 24-611, Your Honor.
Granted.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, had to take care of something real quick. All right. So let's go ahead on. Let's go ahead and get started talking about class and session. Go ahead and get your notepads, your pens, and all that fun stuff, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have a conversation, and hopefully we could learn something about your Vice President, Kamala Harris. So she went on with Charlemagne the God and had this supposed to be an audio town hall is what she recently had. And it was three things that I want to focus on that she talked about. A lot of it was just repetitive that what you heard before. A lot of her interviews, if you heard one, you just about didn't heard them all. Now, I did review the Fox News interview. That was a little testy. She was very testy in that particular interview, a little bit different for her. She came there, looked like she wanted to be tested with them when they was asking her legitimate questions, actually. So, yeah, she was definitely testy if you saw it. But let's go ahead on and take care of the business at hand. All right, so we're going to play the first clip. We're going to even let her word salad go on, unfortunately, because I want y'all to hear things in its entirety. So this first one is going to queue up. It's his sister is going to ask her a question that most of y'all actually care about. I want you to listen to it. Now, of course, we're going to have a still picture up, and it'll be the audio because the Breakfast Club, they've been, when you put the use of clips, whatever. So we're going to do it like that. All right, so here we go.
Let's go to the talkback feature.
My question for Kamala is, why are we, and I say we because my tax dollars is sending the money, why are we sending money to other countries when we desperately need it in our own country for homeless, housing, resources, for whatever? That is my determining factor if I vote for Kamala or not.
That's one of the reasons the America First rhetoric resonates, because nobody in America would complain about where money was going if American citizens' everyday needs were being met. So what do you say to that?
We can do it all, and we do. So, first of all, I maintain very strongly America should never pull ourselves away from our responsibility as a world leader. And that is in the best interest of our national security and each one of us as Americans and our standing in the world. That being said, we also have an obligation to American citizens, obviously, and people who are here to meet their everyday needs and challenges, which is why, for example, we have done the work in the last 4 years of bringing down the cost of prescription medication, whether it be $35 a month for seniors for insulin or $2,000 a year cap on prescription medication. What we have done that has been about putting $17 billion in our HBCUs. I am proud to be the first HBCU Vice President of the United States. I intend to be the first HBCU President of the United States. Those resources are about sending them to centers of academic excellence that I know them to be. The work that I continue to do is about increasing access to capital for our small businesses. It is about increasing the opportunity for home ownership, knowing that Black people are 40% less likely to be homeowners in America. We have a history of legal and procedural obstacles to that home ownership, starting with the fact nobody got 40 acres and a mule, to redlining, to issues that this Detroit area and people around the country know to be real. So part of my plan is that we're going to give people a $25,000 down payment assistance to get their foot in the door to buy a home for first-time home buyers. The work that I'm going to do to increase housing supply in America, knowing that that's one of the reasons that rents and housing prices are jacked up, and to work with the private sector, cut through the red tape, and work to build more housing, 3 million before the end of my first term. And I give these examples, and there are many more which I will offer. So, for example, the work that I will do to extend the child tax credit to $6,000 for young families during the first year of their child's life. Because as you and I both know, our families all have a natural desire to parent their children well, but not always the resources. Mm-hmm. So by expanding the child tax credit to the first year of a child's life to $6,000, that gives that young family the ability to buy a car seat or a crib or clothes, the things that are so important during that critical phase of that child's development, so that they can get on the road and actually have a chance at succeeding.
Madam Vice.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Now, all that BS she was talking, let's go back to the original question right here. Let's go back to what, after all that, what she said, right? All that. This is the original question. I know, because some people get lost in the sauce with her, and you really got to have your mind very sharp to not get lost on some things with her. So this was the original question.
And I say we because my tax dollars.
Hold on.
Let's go to the talkback feature.
My question for Kamala is, why are we, and I say we because my tax dollars is sending the money, why are we sending money to other countries when we desperately need it in our own country for homeless, housing, resources, for whatever? That is my determining factor if I vote for Kamala or not.
That's one of the reasons the America First rhetoric resonates, because nobody in America would complain about where money was going if American citizens' everyday needs were being met. So what do you say to that?
All right. So that was the original question. That was, even when Charlemagne said that's why some people are resonating with America First rhetoric, is because of that. What was her answer in the beginning? Well, I believe we can do it all. We're not doing it all. That's why she asked you that question, ma'am. This lady, when Charlemagne asked her a little earlier in this particular broadcast, you know, people say it seems like you're scripted and you keep saying the same thing. She claims that she's disciplined. No, you're scripted. You can't think outside the box, because you could say the same thing 100 different times or different ways. You can, right? But you don't do that. You stick to what they told you to say, and you don't divvy out of it. You don't do anything. I want y'all to hear her say all that word salad to say this. She is a continuation of the same status quo where American citizens are put at the bottom, and foreigners in foreign countries, and even when they come to this country, they'll put first, and American citizens are put last. Joe Biden just recently approved more money to go to Ukraine. While y'all are suffering, while y'all are struggling, while we have people that's still dealing with the hurricanes that's just come through here, he's worried about appropriating more money to Ukraine. All the things that Netanyahu is doing, he's just trying to start wars all over the place in the Middle East because he has American weapons to do it and American money. And all this mess is going on in that region of the world. It can stop today. All they got to say is, we're not giving you no money. We're not giving you no weapons. We ain't give you nothing. You on your own. You go start some with them people you want to. But no, they make sure to keep doing this, right? Causing calamity in the world, while American citizens is paying the bill for all of that. All that calamity, American citizens will pay for it. Or if you travel abroad and you may be targeted because you're an American, you had nothing to do with any of that. And that's the issue, and that's the problem. This lady is head first in all of it. She keeps saying about, continuing the calamity that's going on throughout the world. She don't care if Americans are suffering. What a tax credit gonna do when you got to put food on the table every day? Like, seriously? A child tax credit, small business credit. That doesn't put food on the table every day, ma'am. that doesn't pay somebody's light bill that comes up every 30 days. They don't pay insurance. They don't pay car notes. It don't pay rent or mortgage. It pays nothing, your tax credits. That's why this lady don't discuss nothing that talks about kitchen table issues. She's just rambling on and on and on and on and on. And the more and more she talked, the more and more I can't stand to hear her talk at this point, because if you heard one interview from her, you didn't heard them all. And that's bad. You go to all these different networks now talking, and you saying the exact same thing, the same way, the same. This is why people are saying, man, you sound scripted. And the key is, it's not about her sounding scripted. It's about the people that gave her the script. It's the one that's running her, because she's not coming up with nothing on her own. See, you can, like an actor or actress, they stick to a script because they're hired to do the script. They're not hired a lot of times to ad lib unless they say, hey, this is the script, but you can ad lib it if you want to. Put your own spin on it if you would like to. Okay, and a lot of times, especially with comedy, that's some of the funniest stuff when somebody get to ad lib, right? She don't ad lib anything. So putting her in office is going to be more war. It's going to be more billions upon billions upon billions of dollars going to foreign countries while American citizens are homeless, while American citizens are being evicted, while American citizens are not getting a proper education, while American citizens' food is trash, while they allow the corporations to basically run our politics, because that's what they do. The corporations control your politicians. You have no say-so, really. The medical industry is just jacking up prices because it's a business. It's not about curing people. It's a business. None of them is talking about the corruption. This lady's going to be more of the same. As I said before, she's an empty suit, but she's more of the same. She's not going to buck. She's not going to stand up against anything, nothing. And the reason why some people gravitate to Donald Trump is because he says, even if he's wrong, he triples down on it. He triples down. Sometimes he's right. He don't back off from it. And you can clearly see nobody's controlling him. People see that because how wild he is. Because nobody controlling you would let you be that wild. Sorry, they wouldn't. So people also can say, well, he want to get all these migrants out of here. Well, he wants to cut off all this money going to a lot of these countries. Yeah, a lot of people are down with that. And I say people, not one group, but people. And remember what the sister said. What her answer was to her, that sister not gonna vote for. Because she talking about we can do both. You're not doing at all. This Democrat Party don't care about American people. They care about foreigners. They care about alternative lifestyles. They care about migrants. That's what they care about. They don't care about the American people, because if they cared about the American people, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. If they were done for the American people, she wouldn't be in trouble with the election. She would easily beat Trump. Easily. And it's getting old and tired, always hearing about him all the time. They're asking you questions. Stop bringing him up. Talk about what you're going to do, not him. It's really annoying. Now let's get to the next section about the black church. And y'all know how I feel about the black church.
We can do it all, and we do. So,
let me go ahead and
first
fast
of
forward
all,
to that part.
succeeding.
Hold on.
Madam Vice President Charlemagne,
Yes,
thank
sir.
y'all for being in Detroit tonight.
Thank you.
Recently, Madam Vice President, by one of Trump's surrogates from the black faith-based community, you've been criticized by him and others for your lack of engagement to the black church. Knowing that the black church is an unrivaled place in the heart of black people, what could you speak to as it relates to a future Harris administration, how you would partner with the black church to address some of the urgent needs of the black community? Dr. King talked about the fierce urgency of right now, and as a church, Triumph Church is in that place.
So first of all, that allegation, of course, is coming from the Trump team, because they are full of mis and disinformation, because they are trying to disconnect me from the people I have worked with and that I am from, so that they can try and have some advantage in this election, because otherwise they have nothing to run on. I grew up in the black church. I grew up attending 23rd Avenue Church of God in Oakland, California.
That's church.
Yes, that is church. My pastor is Amos C. Brown of Third Baptist Church in San Francisco, California.
Yes.
I have, throughout my career and as vice president and recently, been actively engaged in the church and church leaders, not only so we can share in fellowship, but so we can share in what we can do together that is about supporting the community, the strength of the community, the cohesion of the community. And it is my long-standing work and therefore my pledge going forward. I will always work closely with the church because I understand who our church leaders are and who the congregation is. We are talking about people who are driven by faith and the ability to see what is possible. By faith, where I was raised, and I know many of us were, understanding that our God is a loving God, that our faith propels us to act in a way that is about kindness and justice and mercy, that is about lifting one another up. And let's talk about the contrast here. Donald Trump and his followers spend full time trying to suggest that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, which is absolutely contrary to the church I know.
He sells Bibles, though.
Where our church and my church is about saying true leadership, the measure of that is based on who you lift up. And and then he's selling $60 Bibles or tennis shoes and trying to play people as though that makes him more understanding of the black community. Come on.
Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you for the correction.
Thank you.
My name is...
All right. So y'all heard her talk about the black church, the black church, the black church. Well, you know, more word salad, more word salad, more word salad. It didn't take that long to answer that question. But let me talk to the black church a little bit. You know, black church are not relevant no more, okay? You're not relevant. That's really why she wasn't up and down in y'all churches, because that's where the old crowd is at, the older generation. And the younger generation, they've done research on this. The younger generation is not going to y'all churches, okay? A lot of churches are even starting to slowly close up because in the black community, the church at one point in time was a great, institution in the black community, which y'all let a lot of pimps, hustlers, thieves, wolves, liars, and everything else get up in that church house, okay? Hustling people out of money, doing the most, okay? Y'all have been a stomping ground for the Democrat Party. The black church has been the biggest Democrat shield ever. The only institution I've ever seen that be the biggest Democrat shield has been the black church. I remember Democrats coming into church even when I was a child. When I was going to Zion Hill Missionary Baptist Church in Port Arthur, Texas, okay? And every election cycle, we've seen Democrats come inside our church and telling us about what they talking about they gonna do and vote for them and all of that. Well, I'm talking about from the local politicians in Port Arthur to the congressman to senator, whoever. They make their rounds in the black church. And then after the election, you never see these people again. They never come to the church at all. You never see them, not one time. Not even on the Easter Sunday or something. Just make a pit stop. And then when it's time to vote again, they all of a sudden know the address to that church. A lot of black Americans have seen that and say, nah, we good on this institution that's out here hustling money from people. Then the preacher, he can live tax-free. He ain't got to pay no taxes on all the hustling he's doing, right? All the sin and unrighteousness is going on in the church house. Then y'all the biggest Democrat shields out there. A lot of black people are good on that church, man. It's not saying that black people don't love God or heathens. No. That's not that at all. But that church, that's why Kamala and them not really going in that church like that. Why should she? That's not where the majority of the black voters are at anymore. She's doing right by going on podcasts. She's doing right by going on certain radio shows. Actually, that's how she's going to get her message out to the people. Going to church not going to really do much for her. She may show up at a couple of them, but that's not really the strategy no more. That's an old strategy. Black men, let me tell you something. Before black men left the Democrats, black men left the black church. They left that first. You understand? And you still have some black women there, right, in the church. But a lot of black men do not go to the church. And then now black men have walked away from the Democrat Party. A lot of them have. You still got some stragglers back there. But even them, they're going to wake up eventually and say, yeah, I need to go where the community is at. I thought I thought they were crazy. I thought they just didn't know no better or whatever the case may be. But yeah, let me go over here where my people at, because obviously I'm on the wrong side. You understand? The black church been having a black man problem. And now the Democrats got a black man problem. And once you have a black man problem, you can't really fix that issue. Because one thing about men, when they get up and walk out, they don't make an announcement. Men just get up and leave. See, that's when women want to go somewhere, they make announcements. They yell, scream, and cause a scene. Okay, you know when a woman want to leave. When a man want to leave, he say, okay, all right, we cool. And he just get his stuff up and quietly leave. And I told men a long time ago, that's the most powerful thing you can do as a man is get your stuff and leave. Don't argue. Don't say nothing. You just go. And you don't have to give no explanation of why you left. You don't call them and tell them nothing. You gone. Because you told them 1,000 times already. Because men are long suffering. You understand? Even statistically, men do not break up their families. Women are quicker to break up their families by statistics for their happiness. Men will suffer their happiness for their families. It's statistically proven. And women will break a family for their happiness. That's statistically proven by divorce rates in America. See, as men, we understand more responsibility. We understand that we can't just respond off of emotion. So we got to think before we move. So when a man moves, just like if a man was to ever file for divorce, you better believe he thought about that long and hard and even the consequences of that. And you must really did something to him for a man to file a divorce on you. You understand what I'm saying? So when a man leaves, it is something to pay attention to. Why do you think CNN and all of them is making a big deal about black men right now? Because they know when you lose black men, you lost. Now, Black Man Swimming says it's insulting as hell. He said, I'm Muslim, but raised a GA, a Southern Missionary Baptist. She don't go to church. This woman wasn't raised, and all this, she was raised like us. This woman was raised in a Hindu background. Her mammy was practiced Hindu. That's where they come from. They don't come from no Baptist church, Methodist church, AME. They don't come from those churches. Now, not to say when she got grown and got around these circles, like, you know what? Let me go get a membership in one of these churches because it would look good on my resume that I'm a member of this church. Because you gotta understand, Kamala's the type, she would do whatever she gotta do to get what she needs to be. So she gotta go join a church, attend a church once a week, make that sacrifice. Just to say, hey, I'm a member of this church. Hey, vote for me because, hey, I'm in a black church. Listen, I believe she's part of joined the black church. I believe that. But I believe it more so on advantage, not more so on what she believes in. Clearly, right? Clearly. Because earlier in that interview, when Charlemagne had said to her, God is good, she couldn't even respond to it right. She didn't know how to do it. And that's one of the telltale signs that you are not Black American, FBA, or anything else. When you don't know what sayings we say, you don't know certain nuances, you expose yourself. It's very easy. It's kind of like going to another culture and they go and start speaking the language to you and all that. You're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's kind of how it is with us. That's our language. Now, let's get to the last part, the most important part that y'all care about, and all of you care here. Knock wood, yeah, yeah. Let's get to the reparations part.
New Era founder and CEO. I've worked on the ground here in Detroit and in Black communities all across the country for over the past 10 years, actually celebrating our 10th year this past August.
All right.
In my 10 years of organizing, we played a major role in the resurgence of pride and the change in mindset in Detroit neighborhoods across the city. We're not only known for the work that we do here in Detroit, but across the country in black communities, having worked in over 35 cities of the blackest cities in America. Saying all that to say, I'm extremely qualified to sit in front of the current vice president and which can be the next president of the United States of America. As I pose my question to you, I would first like to make it known that I don't have any emotional connections to politicians. I believe that this is one of our biggest flaws in the current political process. I view politics as a business, and America is one of the biggest corporations in the world. With that being said, I'm here on behalf of the business of the black community. With all that black Americans have been through and contribute to the success of America, I feel that there should be an in-depth investigation or evaluation of the lack of resources and current living conditions in black communities nationwide. My question to you is, what's your stance on reparations? We all know that America became great, off the backs of free black labor. How progressive are you on making it a priority and righting America's wrongs? It's understood that you are running for president for all people of America. Asking for specifics for black communities doesn't mean don't do for others, but black Americans are heavily asked to vote Democrat in every election for over half a century with very little in return. What are your plans to address these very important issues and change that narrative?
Thank you, Zeke.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you for your work. So to your point, yes, I am running to be a president for all Americans. That being said, I do have clear eyes about the disparities that exist and the context in which they exist, meaning history, to your point. So my agenda, well, first of all, on the point of reparations, it has to be studied. There's no question about that. And I've been very clear about that position.
All right, I just wanted to let y'all hear that part right there, right? I didn't want to bore y'all with more word salad from Vice President Kamala Harris. Her word salad is almost a form of mental anguish at this point. I hate that I have to sit there and listen to it, just to be honest with you, for the purpose of doing these commentaries. But she has kept the same Democrat line that when it comes to reparations, then she's saying that she believes in a study. Okay, fine. Study, even though we saw a study in California and the study was completed, right, ladies and gentlemen? And when the study was completed and it was time to start enacting things in the study, like putting together the office or who you could determine who's eligible for the said reparations, it was the Democrats that sabotaged that study in California, right? Kamala Harris is a California politician. Her and Gavin Newsom are clicked in. You better believe that. That's her political state is California. They said a study, she says a study. Now, if Gavin Newsom, who's the governor of California, made sure to, with his bootlicks, to sabotage reparations, do you really think this woman's going to do it? So I'm going to check this out. So Democrats, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to study. We're going to do a study. We're going to do a study about why we should vote for you. And it's going to be a comprehensive study. And then we're going to go through this study probably for a couple of election cycles, this study. And then when we're done with this study, we're going to see what steps we could take to implement what we find in this study. And if this study brings us any kind of fruit, to maybe we could vote for you out this study. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to study. Like even in this election, we are putting together a commission. It's a commission of Black Americans, and we're going to study, the history of Black Americans in America, when we started voting for the Democrat, how long we've been voting for Democrats, what have we actually got out of voting for the Democrat Party, what has symbolism gotten for Black Americans by voting Democrat. We're going to study the shaming tactics that Democrats have used on Black Americans. We're going to study the disrespect that's been happening toward Black Americans. We're going to study the priority that Democrats have for the migrants. We're going to study the obsession they have for unaliving children in the womb. We're going to study their push for LGBTQ, even so much so that they put the LGBTQ flag on the White House. We're going to study when President Joe Biden had the LGBT Day, and he had trans women showing their, surgically, enhanced breasts at the White House. We're going to study all these different things. We're going to study all the billions of dollars that was given to Ukraine and all the things like that. We're going to study why you never gave us an anti-Black hate crime bill, right? We're going to study that. We're going to study why you gave the Asians a protection over Black Americans who have been the descendant of slaves who've been suffering in this land for 500 years. We're going to study why you didn't do anything about that, and you had the opportunity to do that. You know what I'm saying? We got to study that. We have to study why you use propaganda against Black Americans in New York and San Francisco, Oakland, to say Black Americans were attacking Asians when, by the FBI statistics, Black Americans were not the leaders of attacking Asians. It was white racist. So we need to study why you failed to use that kind of propaganda against Black Americans in our comprehensive study. We got to study why you're okay with qualified immunity as well. Because Joe Biden, when he came in, he said he was not getting rid of qualified immunity for police. And if anybody should do something, it should be Congress, right? So we got to study why he said that. You feel me? We have to study why we have so many Black politicians who are Democrats. We have a lot of representation, and yet nothing gets done. Black Americans stay in the same position. It don't matter if we got Black mayors, Black city council, Black sheriffs, Black police chiefs, Black prosecutors, Black judges, Black bankers. It don't matter what we got. Our condition stays the same. So we got to study that. We got to study why that's happening before we do any kind of voting. For Democrats, at least. We got to study that. Yeah, Greek surgeon. We got a lot of studies, so we're getting our commission together and putting it together, and we're going to be meeting, at least maybe once a month or so for our commission. And we just got to study that. So maybe if y'all, Democrat Party, you want to come to the meetings and, maybe present your case of about these studies and ask some questions, so we can jot down the answers of why certain things haven't happened for Black Americans. So we can actually take those answers and actually study those answers and see what we get together so we can have our findings, right? And then once we present our findings, then we'll see how the community want to proceed after presenting our findings. You know what I'm saying, about comprehensive study? Okay, Project 007 say the political parties flipped in the 1950s from Republican to Democrat. Blacks are Republicans in the 40s and 50s. They say the parties are flipping again. Gen X speaking here. All right, shout out to Gen X. That's my generation as well. He said, study our elementary schools and how our children do not receive education in schools outside our neighborhood. Yeah, we got to study that as well. And we also have to study how come in one instance you have migrants come into this country, a lot of them illegally in sanctuary cities ran by Democrats, but Black Americans have no sanctuary cities in this country. How is that? We have to study that. So Black America, we have a great comprehensive study that we need to do because Vice President Harris say when it comes to our reparations, they need to study it, and we need to study as well before we do any mass voting for the Democrat Party. And you Democrat shills, let me tell you something. Y'all don't like the truth. I know that. And that's fine. But The study will be a good thing, okay? The study will be a good thing because now nobody can put out any kind of propaganda, nothing. We're going to have some comprehensive facts about why nothing got done for Black Americans all these years. That's what the study going to come from. Because we can just say it, but if you study it, then you have some answers. Now, we know a lot of the answer, but hey, we need to study. So that's that. You say you say beautiful brains say you suspect our findings won't be in favor of the Democrat Party. We don't know what our findings going to be. We have to study. We have to take the page out of the Democrat playbook and study. You see, John Winston says, I voted early for Trump. I don't care who leave me. Hey, John, men don't care about that. Let me tell you the difference about men. Men don't care nothing about if somebody leave us. Men understand that when things got to be done, things got to be done. If everybody leave us as men, look, I'm a firm believer of this. As long as I got my health and strength, I can walk on my own, I can talk on my own, I can see, I can hear, I can do for self, I can provide for myself. Everybody can leave if they must. If you want to leave because of who I chose to vote for politically, then thank God that person got you out my life. Because God was sparing me from dealing with the likes of that person. So if anybody, Tom Slick says this is a great study plan, we need to, you got to implement that. I guess what it says? I guess L with two I's, I guess, or all L's, whatever. It said, I'm home now, going to vote Cornel West. Salute Uncle B1. Hey, you want to vote for Cornel West? That is your prerogative. Like Bobby Brown used to say, that is your prerogative. I have no issue and problem with you going and vote for Cornel West. Have at it and do it and be at peace. And people are telling people, voting for Cornel West, that's a wasted vote. It's not a wasted vote. It's a vote. I heard people say Jill Stein is going to spoil the election. If a person want to vote for Jill Stein, that's their American right to vote for Jill Stein. If they want to vote for Trump, they can vote for Trump. If they want to vote for that beautiful couch, they can vote for that too. They can vote for whatever they want to vote for. And you Democrat shills, your days of shame is over. You can't ancestor shame. You can't do nothing. And I'm going to tell you something. After this election cycle, because I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not going to say much. But if Democrats lose and lose bad in this current election, Shields, you will be out of a job because you're going to have no usefulness no more. See, that's why the Shields are really so vicious right now, because they know the Democrats not going to need them no more. They're going to have to fire all the Shields they have, and the Democrats going to have a come to Jesus moment and redo they mission and their party. And when they redo it, the current Shields is going to have to go because they're not going to win no elections with these Shields. And Democrats, I'm telling you, that is the worst representation of the Democrat Party is these Shields. You understand? They're unhinged. They talk crazy. And you're not going to make people want to vote for Democrat by having these Shields become unhinged on people. You're going to make people say, the hell with them people. I'm not voting with them. Them people crazy. And I'm telling you right now, Democrats, you're going to have to abandon that extreme left-wing progressive stuff you're doing. You're going to have to abandon that if you even want to get people to halfway start thinking about you again. You're going to have to come to the middle. You're going to have to come to the middle. You're going to have to be centrist. Okay, there's another one said vote for Cornel West for president would definitely send a message if he gets a decent percentage of their votes. All right, Minnie Mike says you need to study how these dusty shields going to file for unemployment in 2025. I'm not studying that. I mean, they decided that, Angela Rye, she comes out of her basement every few years. You know that. You don't see Angela the whole time. Then all of a sudden, Angela come out of her basement, just showing up on radio shows and trying to talk to you. And no, I want y'all to notice something. See, people like Angela Rye and the rest of them, Tiffany Cross and all the rest of them, they won't come holler at a person like me. I won't be mean to them. I will never be mean to them or nothing. I've never been mean to none of my guests that ever come over here. Even if I disagree with them on some things, I don't be mean, because that's wrong. If someone is your guest, you treat them with respect. You know, unless that person got disrespectful. But they don't want to talk to us, right? They thinking that the traditional media and all that, listen. And then when Kamala do go talk to people, she go talk to a little white girl that talks about sex all day on her show. I'm like, that is like the wrong, nobody's going to, that crowd is not going to vote for you. Trust me. You say that I see the video about Cherie Peoples. Is that the one about the lady that got locked up? Is that the lady? You say you'll vote. Jay say he'll vote for a Rock before he'll vote for Kamala. Ouch. Well, hey, a Rock got a little bit more personality, I guess, right? You say they want no parts of me. Of course, well, a lot of people don't want no parts of me. I mean, to be honest with you, it's not that I'm a bad person. I'm not. But no, they don't want to talk to me. They're afraid they're going to get asked certain questions they're not going to want to answer. Because you couldn't have told me you're going to study it. And the first thing I would say was, did you study all the billions of dollars that y'all gave to the migrants? It wasn't no study about that. So how is it that billions of dollars can go to migrants, but when it comes to us, it's a study? Like, could you explain that? I was like, that didn't make sense. No study for that, but a study for this? Come on now. See, that's the questions they don't want to be asked and don't want to be pressed on. You got billions of dollars for war, but none for America? You ask some Americans to vote for you. Why don't you go ask for them foreigners to go vote for you? Since that's what you care about. You don't care about it. Because listen, what the scriptures teach, where your treasure is, your heart will be also. The treasure, the money, is going to foreigners. That's who they care about. The money is going to migrants. That's who they care about. They don't give no money to Americans. They don't give money to hurricane victims as they should. And definitely ain't giving no money to black Americans. And that $25,000 down payment assistance she keeps preaching, that's for migrants. Because they don't have no credit scores and all of that. So they want them to have this big injection of cash to give to the banks to twist their arm to give them these loans. You understand? Because the rest of us can get our credit score up, right? Because I want you to notice, as I said before, you don't have to give nobody no $25,000 for down payment. All you got to do is go reduce the down payment requirements for the FHA loan from 3.5% and take it down to 1.5%. Raise the caps, raise the cap on the amount of the loan, because people live in California. You got to raise the cap. Okay, them homes in California is ridiculous. That would help Americans to come up with 1.5% down versus 3%, 3.5% down, right? I think it's 3%, but take it down to 1.5%. That way, you're not injecting all this cash into the economy that can raise up inflation. You understand? And then don't let people be penalized talking about no debt to income ratio. Because this country's in debt, so why people should get penalized for that? Project 007 says, I respect you and your opinion, Brother Phil. Thank you for the love offering. John said, my family are Kamala supporters. I forgot to add, hey, you got people in your family going to support Kamala, and that's fine. And you just love them anyway. You say, well, we just disagree on that. That's it. And if they the type, well, I ain't talking to you no more about some Kamala. The only thing I'll tell them is this. So you're not going to talk to me no more about a woman you don't even know, and a woman don't even care about you? She don't care about you. She don't know you. She ain't coming to your house. She's not going to call you. She's not going to invite you over there at her house where she was putting her greens that she put in the bathtub. She ain't going to call you over there to eat them greens that she put in the bathtub. So why you crashing out for a woman you don't know? At least say you ate them bathtub greens before you crash out. I'm just saying. Get the bathtub greens first before you crash out. Crashing out for somebody I ain't never met. They ain't done a thing for me. But I'm just gonna not talk to my family no more behind a politician. Royal Newtown. Thank you very much, Royal Newtown. Appreciate you. You say no, yeah. I don't participate. Listen, like I said, I'm not gonna divide with people in my family over no doggone politician. But if they don't want to talk to me no more for whatever the reason, I'm like, hey, God bless you. I hope you do well, and I just move around, and that's it. I'm not gonna call you. I'm not gonna say nothing to you. Now if I see you later at another thing, and you're like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, oh, you talking now? I say, well, what happened? I didn't do you nothing. So what happened? Oh, I was just tripping. I was just mad about this. I'm like, that was stupid. That was utterly stupid. You're not gonna talk to me? We family. I give you space to cool down. I'm a firm believer of that. It takes me a little bit before I completely throw somebody away. I'll be honest with you. I go a long time before I get to a point I'm gonna throw somebody away. I'll try to work with you. I'll try to, do everything I can to make sure that I've tried everything. But once I know I tried everything and I know, okay, it's not me, then that's when I get to the point and say, all right. And when I do that with you, ain't nothing you can tell me at that point. Ain't gonna be no argument. It's not gonna be nothing. It just, I'm done with you. Now, many might say fact that Dems had to wipe the dust off Obama's suit to get him out there to shame black men. She already lost. Flashback Walker versus Warnock. Black people more salty. Yeah. And Obama has no respect in the black community at all. Nobody respects him. He has no respect. I personally believe his wife will get more respect than him. I really believe that. He said, you don't want Michelle? I think you probably should have sent Michelle. Michelle would kind of get more respect than him. No, hear me out. I think more people would have respected Michelle having a conversation with black men than him. Because this man has had a history of talking down on black men like we pieces of crap. He's had a history of that. And the reason why he's so angry with us, because he's not us. He's not us. He can't relate to us. And people like him be mad at black men because, he do something awkward. And brothers probably called him out for his awkward behavior. And he don't really fit in. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes because they don't fit in, they get mad and they want to, I'm going to get them. When I get a chance, I'm going to get them. They turn into a villain. So that's why during his presidency, he was always talking down on brothers. So that was really nothing new he did. Just the difference this time is that black folks like, hell no. Get your little lanky behind back to Martha's Vineyard where you come from. Go back over there with them folks. Go. You don't need to be here talking to us. And we still want to know what happened to that chef of yours. That was strange. They didn't talk about that. What happened to that chef? What did he see in that house? That was real quiet, real strange. Look into that, y'all. He said, would you say Michelle Obama is now on the campaign trail? Have you guys realized that? Yeah, Michelle did her due diligence on the. She did her speech at the convention, but yeah, Michelle not out there. Now, I don't know. Maybe the Democrats will say, wait, Brock got to go back to Martha's Vineyard. Michelle, can you please help her out? Like, even Michelle get out there, it's not going to help Kamala. Why do you think Kamala went to Fox News? Kamala's in trouble when she went to, listen, when Kamala thought she was up and she was like, I can beat Trump. No, she didn't want to talk to nobody. Think about it. When she thought she had it good, she didn't want to talk to nobody. And for sure, she didn't want to talk to Fox News. Now, all of a sudden, you're talking to Fox News is because you're desperate. That's why. And Trump, because he didn't give you a debate, which I think that's the smartest thing he did, was not do a second debate with her, is forcing her to get out there and talk. And like last time, the more she talks, the more people are like, this is the woman that wants to be, oh, hell no. Hell no. Yeah, Jesse Jackson and Tavis Smiley was calling out Obama. And a lot of black people in the community was attacking Jesse Jackson and Tavis Smiley. But now, if you go back, and man, we need to do a stream about that. If you go back and listen to everything Jesse Jackson and Tavis Smiley said about Obama back then, everything ended up being true. People was calling him all kind of names, them brothers all kind of names for going at Obama about how disrespectful he was to the black community. Now people finally seen it after all these years. Yeah, he need to go to Martha's Vineyard and stay over there with them folks. Because that's what he grew up with and where he grew up with them folks. So, you know. Yeah. Fox News, yeah. You gonna go over there with the ops? Yeah, you're right. That is her ops. But y'all should see that interview. Oh, she was very testy in that interview. She was mad. Oh, she was mad at them questions he kept throwing at her. Oh, she was not. Oh no, she didn't do any of that. She was hot. I don't know if y'all saw it, but y'all gotta check that out. She was talking over the man, wouldn't let him get a word in. Oh, she was hot. To me, that wasn't a good look for her. Like, let the man talk, then the man trying to ask you another question, you talking over him, you know, it's like, wow, Kamala, you were kind of coming unglued a little bit. Yeah, you got to check out that Fox News interview. You see what I'm talking about on our podcast. So I'm going to talk about one part of it tonight at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the stream tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure you click the like button. It's very important. It's your first time here. Make sure of that. Make sure to download the African Diaspora News Channel app in the Google Play and Apple App Store. Once you do that, create an account that you can choose monthly, quarterly, and yearly. We put content up over there. We don't put up on YouTube. I just put up one video today about, I think Vicky made about lynching being a Christian ritual for the folks. So yeah, you got to check that out. I think the lady got something I need to put up over there as well. So we put up stuff over there that's not shown here. And definitely 2025, we are pushing real strong on creating new shows and stuff like that, trying to get these movies started, and all of that, just movies we can get from all over the world, whether they in Hollywood, whether they in South Africa, whether they wherever, even just some independent movies here. We're going to be looking to put movies on the app. So yeah, we putting a little everything, right? 'Cause it's ours, right? And that's what we want to do, to spread, not only spread the message, but also have a hub for, entertainment as well. Because it's ours, and that's the key. Build your own. But thank y'all for listening. Let me see. Hold on. Eric said Kamala Harris campaign career is over, game over. Shout out to Fox News for doing the Lord's work. I voted for Trump. It's a do Trump 2024. Hey, you voted for Trump, and we'll see how that all that turns out. I'll be voting next week, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be voting next week, next Monday. So thank y'all for listening.